In the United States, people consume 50 billion bottles of water each year. That's 1,500 bottles per second, according to Schultz from Tree Hugger. Global demands for fresh water are expected to increase 40% by 2030, according to Levine from Bloomberg. In other areas around the world, such as northern India and northern China, companies are already shutting down due to lack of water in the region, according to Levine. The Great Lakes span more than 750 miles from east to west, providing water for consumption, transportation, power, and recreation. Today, the lakes are facing problems such as pollution and habitat loss, which leads to the extinction of many species, said by the Great Lakes today. In order to protect our Great Lakes and the people who depend on them, it's going to take extraordinary commitment, funds, and dedication to the development of a preservation and protection plan. I would like to inform the people of this country about the importance of the Great Lakes. The harsh reality for our Great Lakes is that many foreign species are invading the freshwater habitat, which alters the delicate balance of both clean fresh water as well as the ecosystems, according to the Alliance. The Great Lakes are the most essential source for fresh water, and they are threatened by pollution and habitat disruption, according to the Great Lakes today. It is crucial that we are educated on the effects we have on the lakes. Research is also needed to further understand what habitat disruption species cause the greatest harm to the balance of the lake's ecosystems, according to the Alliance. Our main objective is to reduce pollution and preserve the existing habitats. Not only is it crucial to support our nation's needs for fresh drinking water, it is also necessary to support many industries such as agriculture and fishing, according to the Great Lakes today. On average, there are around 110 million pounds of fish caught for consumption in the Great Lakes each year, and pollution would cause many of these catches to be inedible, according to the Great Lakes today. Nearly 20% of the Earth's fresh water is found within the Great Lakes, and the Great Lakes alone provide drinking water for more than 40 million people, according to the Alliance. According to the Brookings Institution, when the Great Lakes are in their healthy natural state, they could earn more than $50 billion in economic benefits for the Midwest. In 2001, governors of the Great Lakes met with Canadian premiers to develop new protections intended to prevent harmful water withdrawals and diversions of the Great Lakes, according to the Alliance. With all of us depending on these waters, we ask you to take a bigger role in preserving them through education and recycling initiatives, as well as actions from corporations which hope to take a responsible role in the community. However, the real support comes from the consumers, who should be educated about the impact their products have on the lakes. Improper waste and pollutants are not the only threat to the habitats within the Great Lakes. Invasive species, as well as global warming and wasteful water use prove to be a dangerous threat in these lakes, according to the Alliance. During recent years, there have been hundreds of species attempting to invade the Great Lakes. The result is a disruption of a very large and intertwined communities of plants and animals that have evolved over thousands of years, according to the Alliance. In September 2008, a groundbreaking report was released by the Alliance, which urged a breakup of the Mississippi River and the Great Lakes. The report concluded that breaking up these basins is the only way to permanently stop invasive species such as Asian carp from entering the Great Lakes. The ravenous, fast-growing carp could quickly dominate the ecosystem, as they are a predator to many of the underwater species in the lake's existing habitat, according to the Alliance. Sea lamprey, carp, smelt, a wolf, Pacific salmon are all impacted by changes in the Great Lakes ecosystem. On land, newly introduced plants such as purple lowstrife and European blackthorn continue to displace native species, according to the Great Lakes today. The annual cost of the Great Lakes area could be upwards of $200 million per year. Invasive plant and animal species is not the only harmful agent to the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes today argues that humans can acquire bacterial, viral, and parasitic diseases through the direct body contact with contaminated water, as well as drinking the water, according to the Great Lakes today. In order to keep the Great Lakes ecosystem in balance, we need to show the process of pollution through public education, recycling initiatives, as well as public and private funding. The treatment in place is not enough to keep all the threats to the Great Lakes at bay. Much more research is needed to be done concerning the causes of pollution. Groundwater runoff provides a trail to the Great Lakes, which acts as one of the greatest sources of pollutants. Because of the high cost and difficulty of water treatment, prevention is the best approach to keeping our waters clean, according to the Great Lakes today. This includes not only prevention of the contaminated groundwater runoff, but also the monitoring of surface runoff, according to the Great Lakes today. Surface runoff is a superhighway for nutrients, pesticides, and soils, which are a product of farming and agricultural industries in the Midwest, according to the Great Lakes today. Along with the groundwater, surface runoff, street runoff in urban areas also contributes to contamination, according to the Great Lakes today. We need to raise awareness about the causes of the lake's destruction through social educational programs and various public service announcements. Spreading awareness will require funding from people who rely on these the most. The funds raised will also help to fund the essential research required to discover both what other causes of these pollutants and invasive species are and how to prevent them from harming the most essential body of water. Without your help, we could lose one of the greatest contributors of fresh water to people all over the world. The best, most efficient, and economical solution to the multi-level problem is education, information, and action by the people who use these resources now, and to the generations to continue to rely on them. Nothing will help as much as having an understanding of the impact that our actions have on the lakes. We need your help and donations to further research how these lakes can be preserved, as well as to carry out the essential preservation processes. By the late 1960s, Lake Erie was extremely polluted, largely due to the amount of industry in the big cities lining its shore. Lake Erie was given the name the Dead Lake because these newly introduced pollutants killed so much of its wildlife, according to Rodman. In 1970, Mayor Carl Stokes appeared before Congress to seek federal aid. It was not the federal aid that made such an enormous difference, it was the media attention that brought to the issue and the people like you who became involved for a national movement against water pollution, according to Rodman. This is the effort that we need from you to continue to protect our Great Lakes. As a favor to our future generations, go home and join our awareness groups. Share the concerns we have discussed today about the Great Lakes and your friends, family, and children in hopes that they will stand up and help us fight to preserve a beloved resource.